Vinny Tortorich here. Hey man, if you're a fan of Izzy, you might be a fan of me too. I'm the guy that gets people to lose a lot of weight. I have something free for you guys. This is no clickbait. Just go to vinnytortorich.com and there's a big banner. It's a free PDF, how to lose weight. It's an intro guide to NSNG at vinnytortorich.com. Go check it out exclusively for anyone who listens to Izzy Presley. Thank you.
Replay Guitar Exchange is your premier independent guitar store. Being independent is good. With all of the major brands, including new, vintage, and pre-owned, you can find the guitar, bass, amp, or accessory you are dreaming of. From vintage to the newest models, Replay Guitar Exchange can help you find that perfect piece. They have industry veteran expert staff, all players like you down to the owner. You aren't just getting a great guitar, you're getting the Replay difference. Find them online at replayguitar.com and find your dream guitar today. Rockwood Saloon Authentic Apparel takes rock and roll fashion to a new level with their tees and tanks for men and women. They also make custom shirts, jackets, vests, pants, hoodies, beanies, and more. The Rockwood Graphics Department can design anything from your logo, t-shirt design, promo posters, band swag, and printed at great prices. From tour shirts and custom stage gear to killer threads for the street to the stage, Rockwood Saloon has it all. Rockwood Saloon, authentic rock and roll apparel for stage and street. World Tour tested for quality, comfort, style, and durability. Check them out at www.rockwoodsaloon.com. That's rockwoodsaloon.com.
Would I listen to Izzy Presley? Ooh, not if he was the last disc jockey on earth, honey.
The unscripted, uncensored, loose cannon of commentary.
Why did you say that? Why? Why? You come out with stink like that? Poop. Your poop mouth. Poop out of your mouth.
See, son? Old legends never die. They just lose weight.
Like a legend and an out-of-work bum look a lot alike, Daddy.
I've got a midget friend, an albino friend, and another friend who thinks Lord of the Rings is real. Together we call ourselves the Unfuckables.
Quinton is in. Let the fun begin.
God, you're an asshole, man.
Hello, Hollywood. I almost said good morning. I almost said good morning, Hollywood. This was my intro on the Monsters of Rock radio show, which I am no longer doing. We're going to talk about that. And good afternoon, good evening, world. My name is Izzy Presley, and yes, this is another effing podcast, but this is actually episode number 1 of another effing podcast, the Izzy Presley Show. Izzy, what is that, might you ask? Well, let me tell you. I have decided, since I am no longer doing mornings on the Monsters of Rock radio channel on the Dash Radio Network, that I would do a show like this where I could talk about shit that I was talking about on there, news stories, and get a chance to vent, get a chance to get your instant feedback on the stories. It's just something I wanted to try. If it works, cool. If it doesn't work, you know, it is what it is. What can I say? I like this intro. This will be the intro for for this show. I might have to change it. I might have to put a different song in here because I don't want to get tapped. You know, maybe I just don't post it to YouTube. I don't know. We will see. I hope everybody's having a great Monday. It is 7:05 p.m., ladies and gentlemen. Let me have to turn the fan on. It gets a little stuffy in here. Don't worry, the Tuesday night show will still be intact. The Tuesday night show will still be intact with my in-studio guests and doing all that stuff. Don't really have a chance to do this kind of stuff when I have in-studio guests. So I thought, you know what? Let's give this a shot and see how it goes, see where it goes, and go from there. Why not? Why not? Make sure you guys hit up all the social media. At Real Izzy Presley, all the way across the board. Twitter, Instagram, and the Facebook. And, of course, find out everything I'm doing entertainment-wise and all that kind of good stuff. And, of course, Instagram, you can find out exactly what I am eating and my Instagram modeling pics because I am dead sexy. What can I say? And of course, the show page for now, just another effing podcast. I'll probably keep the show page the same. I've already got enough followers on there. I don't see why I need to add a new one for this show. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. We will see where it goes. And also, if you guys want merch, you want t-shirts, you want all that kind of good stuff, go to those Facebook pages and click that shop now. Of course, we got another effing podcast shirts. I'll probably make an Izzy Presley show shirt with hashtag megahost on the back. Did the Wild score? Looks like they did. No goal. Go suck yourself. But you Monsters of Rock cruisers out there did not have a chance to get the Cruiser Jam shirt from the official Izzy Presley Monsters of Rock 2019 Cruiser Jam shirt. Those are now available. There are 25 shirts available. I should have put this up right away. I was waiting for a couple large-breasted Americans to model in them for me, but unfortunately, due to scheduling, that couldn't happen. I'm like, well, I can't wait any longer. I just got to put the goddamn shirts up. So now the picture you see is me. I mean, in all my glory. Don't worry, I'm not naked. It's on eBay. But the eBay link, it's like an eBay store style. Figured that was the easiest way to do it. They are $22.95. Izzy, why $22.95? Because that is the exact price that the leftover shirts from the Monsters of Rock cruise were selling for on their page, the one-sided shirt. So I figure that's fair. That's fair. It's like $4.75 shipping and handling inside the continental United States. Obviously more if you are elsewhere in the world. But that link is up on the Real Izzy Presley on Facebook. It's on Twitter. It's on another effing podcast page on Facebook as well. So make sure you check all that stuff out. And please make sure you share this show with your friends. This show and another effing podcast. Working on some great guests for another effing podcast. Probably not doing that show tomorrow. And we'll get into that reason in just a little bit when we talk about our first story about the Lyft and Uber strike. Los Angeles Uber drivers and Lyft drivers are fed up, and I know because I am one of them. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. We're going to talk about Spin. Spin Magazine had an online review of The Dirt, and this gal who you can tell knew nothing about the 80s and nothing about what it was really like. I wrote an article saying Motley Crue should stay in the 80s. So we're going to dissect that and make fun of her. And there's just people are losing their fucking mind about the Motley Crue movie. That didn't happen. Like, it's a made-for-TV movie. Chill out. We're going to talk about all of that. Somebody said I should have played Tom Zutaut. I would have been an amazing Tom Zutaut. I would have loved that role. That would have been great. That would have been awesome. Oh, hey, if you guys are in Hollywood, I'm assuming you know by now that there is no Soundcheck Live this month, the show that I'm lucky enough to MC once a month at Lucky Strike, the last Wednesday of every month. That show will be back the last Wednesday of April. Ferlazzo is out of town, and he has been planning this huge synth pop show. It's all keyboards, ladies and gentlemen. All keyboard-based songs. He is rather proud of this, and he should be, because it is a lot of frickin' work, and it is going to be a lot of fun. But if you do want to catch me on stage at any time this month, your chance is Thursday night. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Thursday night at the Grafton at Bar 20, you can catch me co-hosting a show that I guess I helped create. It was mostly Courtney's idea. Not that one. No, this one knows I'm alive. It's called Punchlines and Backlines, and it is a fun show. It's going to be a fun show. We got 6 great comics. Let me find all the exact comics so I can read these comics off for you. I should have had this up already, but I didn't even think about it. Where is it? Punchlines and backlines. There we go. Just looking at the event, we have about. Where did? Oh, this isn't the one that's published. Where did the? In the discussion, it should be about in the about section, right? Ah, here we go. I didn't look down in the details. That would be in the about section, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes I'm a little slow. So basically what this show is, we got 6 comics and 1 musician. And the musician has never done stand-up comedy before, and the catch is this musician will have to do a set of stand-up along with an acoustic set where he or she, this month it's a he, can have anybody they want come up and jam with them, come up and play with them. It's his set. He can do whatever he wants. And our musician this month is Jason Christopher of Prong, and he does the solo acoustic shows with Corey Taylor, from, of course, Slipknot and Stone Sour. I'm not saying Corey Taylor is going to be there. I'm saying he plays with him. But he's got a bunch of friends that are going to come up and play with him and do a fun show. And he's gonna work some of that comedy into his music set as well, because Jason is a funny man. And the comedians. First show, no cover, ladies and gentlemen. No cover, by the way. I know. The first 15 minutes of this show are basically a large ad for one Izzy Presley. We've got Murray Valeriano, who's actually probably going to jam with Mr. Christopher. That's one of the fun parts of the shows too. Is we're going to get a comic up to play with the musician. Annika Adele, Stevie D, Samantha Hale, Earl Skakel, my good buddy Earl, and somebody that's been on this show before on another effing podcast. Well, actually, Earl has been as well. But Craig Gass, ladies and gentlemen, Craig Gass will be there as well. It's going to be a good time. Come on down, Bar 20. It's a small room, so get down there early. It's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait for that. If you want to support the show, you absolutely can, and you'll probably realize why I say this every time in just a minute here when I start talking about the Lyft and Uber strike. You can. You can. This show is not free to put on. I spend money every month to make this show happen. Right now, I should be out working. Well, Izzy, why don't you just do it earlier in the day? Yeah, I was sleeping. I accidentally laid down for a nap after Days of Our Lives at 2:00, and I woke up at 6. I had delusions of grandeur of doing this at like 5:30, 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock every Monday. But, yeah, that didn't happen. I woke up about 6 and I made some food. Trying this intermittent fasting gimmick on top of the NSNG, which I'm actually back on board on today. That shit is hard, especially when you have to drive Lyft and Uber. Because you're in your car so goddamn much. It's just easy to pull into the 7-Eleven and get yourself a Monster Energy. And then hit the goddamn drive-thru because it's quick, because you have to get back to work, because you have to try to make money to try to survive. It's true. So, that's we're going to see how long this goes, because that is the hard part about NSNG for me. That's why I have trouble. If I was not driving Lyft and Uber, it would be so simple. On the Monsters of Rock cruise, that PayPal, by the way, is Izzy Presley at yahoo.com. That's my begging for money segment of the show. On the Monsters of Rock cruise, on the Blue cruise, on the Cruise to the Edge, I did it. For the most part. I mean, yeah, I had a meal here and there that had some carbs in it and a couple ice cream cones and lots of beer. I love me some beer. But I was pretty good. I was pretty good, and my thought was, this is going to help control the cankles. And it did. It really, really, really did. I was, for the most part, cankle free. You get because you're walking around that boat all day, all night. It takes a toll on your lower extremities, ladies and gentlemen. So the compression socks were still needed, but not needed as much as usual. And why, might you ask? Well, sugars and grains are inflammatory. That's why you feel bloated when you eat a big, big thing of mac and cheese. Or you drink like 5 Monster Energies, which I do not recommend. I think my record is 4. Or was it 5? Did I have 5 in one day once? Oh, it's terrible. No wonder I'm fat. So that's inflammatory, and it will go to your ankles when you're walking around on your ankles, walking around all day, all night on this boat for 3 weeks, which I am very lucky and privileged to do every single year. So yeah, it helped. It helped a lot. It helped a lot. Look, when you're eating in the buffet every day, you have those options. Let's grab a burger with no bun, grab some fish, grab some chicken, and that's it. Eggs, bacon, all that kind of good stuff that has no sugars and grains, and that is good for you. I don't know how good the actual ship food is for you, but cutting that stuff out when you're on the boat, it really does help a lot. It really does. And the cruises themselves were a freaking blast. Cruise to the Edge, my joke about Cruise to the Edge every year is like, it's keyboards and math. There was a lot of guitars this year. And a lot of heavy guitars. I still didn't know any of the bands, other than the ones that are on there every year. Like IO Earth. I know them because I know them. But it's a blast. And the thing I love about Cruise Edge, and I pick on Cruise the Edge, and I pick on the cruisers a little bit, it's all in good fun. It really is. Portnoy was on there, and I always have a blast with Mike. But it is fun. The cruisers, they are so into the music. I always joke that the prog fans are like Dungeons and Dragons music fans. And that's really what they are, because they are so into it. They walk around with their records and, trying to get everything signed. And like when Eddie Trunk does his shows, and Eddie always has to have somebody like Lon Friend on to help him, because Eddie's not a big prog guy. So he has somebody helping him out, which is great. And it's cool that Eddie does that. He's smart enough to know to do that. And they ask great questions, and they're so loyal and so happy to be there. And I love that. And that's what music should be. That's what music fandom should be. That's what us Kiss geeks are. They are the Kiss geeks of the prog world. It's true. I don't know. Because us Kiss geeks, we take it to an extreme. I always say that there's 3 things that have shaped my life, which will probably make me single forever. It's my love of Kiss, my love of professional wrestling, and, what was the other one? There was another one. Star Wars. Those 3 things are probably why I didn't get laid until I was 19. I have a good feeling that those 3 things, Kiss, Star Wars, and professional wrestling, my love of all of those, my geekdom, I am what one would call a marketer's dream. My love of those is why I did not have sex until I was 19. And probably why I'm dying alone. But, That could happen. That could not happen. Somebody can get lucky now and then. You know, that's what hookers are for. Man, if I could afford a hooker, I wouldn't need a hooker. Did you get that? Chicks like guys with money. There you go. So, the Monsters of Rock radio on the Dash radio. Let's talk about this for a minute. So, if anybody's wondering why I am not doing mornings on that anymore. I was doing mornings up until the Monsters of Rock cruise, and up until that cruise run, I was off for that week that I was back. I thought I was going to be on, but whatever. And I did a week after I got back, and then all of a sudden the communication lines were silent, and that goes both ways. My program director had to run to help his kid out in Denver. And so I didn't get any cue sheets, yada, yada, yada. It is what it is. And I finally talked to him after having those 2 weeks of not doing it off. And I'm not going to lie, I really enjoyed not having to worry about it. I really did. It's a lot of work. And when you're working 6 nights a week and then doing 5 days worth of a radio show on top of it, but you have to drive Lyft 6 nights a week for 10 hours a night just to get by on top of that radio show, it just wasn't worth it. Just wasn't worth it. I mean, it was fun. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed having an open microphone to say pretty much whatever I want. They had to ask me to reel it in a couple times. There's some stuff they didn't want talked about, and that's fine, because it's not my station. I was just the morning gas bag. But that's pretty much how radio is. Unless you're lucky enough, like Aaron Imholt on the Steel Toe Morning Show, to be on a station like Rockin' 101, the station where I cut my teeth, where I ruined afternoons for a couple years as a liner jock. Aaron Imholt and the Steel Toe Morning Show is kind of the framework of this. It's kind of the framework of this show. And I steal a lot from Aaron. Why would I do that? Why would I admit that? Because Aaron is fucking amazing. And he figured out very quickly, or over his short career, before he landed at Rockin' 101, how to do a morning radio show. And a lot of that has to do with being honest with your listeners. And that's the thing that people don't understand about radio is wrestling geeks will get that. There is a kayfabe about radio. Pardon me. There's a lot of fake shit about radio. And this is something I got in trouble for talking about this kind of stuff on the air, because I was trying to not do that shit. A lot of your campy, hacky morning shows with all their fake bits that they don't come up with themselves, they just play them. Stuff like that. There's just this kayfabe about it. And I don't like that. I like transparency. I like being real. I like being honest. And I tried to bring that to that Monsters of Rock morning show. And I thought I did. I thought I did it very, very well. I had my bad days. Everybody does. But I did my best. I did my best, and it just wasn't working. Time-wise. That's all there was to it. It just wasn't worth my time anymore. And I figured that's why this show happened. This Izzy Presley show happened. Because I figured I could take what I was doing there, which I stole all from Aaron Imholt, tried to shove it into, maybe 10 minutes of a 60-minute music set. 15 minutes of a 60-minute music set if I was lucky. when I could take that and condense it down into an hour or maybe an hour and a half from a 6-hour morning show into one weekly show, I thought that would be much better. So here we are. Oh, we got, is it Scotty? I assume it's, Jacobus. What's going on? Jeff Jacobus checking in from Pensacola. Is it Pensacola or is it Jacksonville? I don't know, one of the two. Whichever has the least stricter sex laws. That's where Jacobus is. So yeah, that's what happened with the Monsters of Rock radio morning show. And they are not the Monsters of Rock cruise people. That was kind of a misconception. They are not affiliated, but they are not the Monsters of Rock cruise people. Strickland, how you doing, buddy? Pensacola. I knew it. So, but this goes back to the first story that I am going to post on the Facebook page here, which you guys can chime in and talk about, or you can talk about on in the chat room here, since we are live. If you are listening to this live, please check into the chat room and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you know every time that I am live, you get that notification, so you can just jump in and have fun. That's what it's about. All right, so all right, so if we go to all right, posting this right now. All right, it has been posted on the Facebook page. I just got a text from Tim Mangione. I was doing Chip on the that's right. I was on Three Sides of the Coin today. I recorded it last week. Fun show. I love being on there with those clowns. All right, so Izzy, why do you have to drive 6 nights a week, 10 hours a night? Drive Lyft. Why? Well, one, it's goddamn expensive out here. That's why. But you do what you have to do. And after learning my lessons about falling behind, like what happened with the car repossession in November, and thank you again to everybody that helped out. I did not ask for it. I wasn't planning on asking for it, and everybody that helped out, thank you so much. You don't understand what that meant to me. What that meant to me at all. So, in order to make a quote-unquote living driving Lyft and Uber, you have to drive a lot. I mean, a lot. And today, in Los Angeles, there was a strike. And this story is up on the Another Effing Podcast show page right now. And this comes from NBC News. This isn't a local news thing. This is NBC News. And it sucks. It's tough. I mean, and here's a good example of why it is so tough. Last night, I drove somebody 15 miles from way up in the hills all the way downtown. About a 15-mile drive. He gets in, he goes, God, this is an expensive Uber. I'm like, well, it's a Lyft, but same diff. I'm like, well, how much is it telling you it's going to be? He's like, $31. I'm like, oh, well, wow, maybe it's surging or something. I don't know. So we get there and I drop him off. And I said, just wait in the car. I want to see something. So I ended the ride and I waited to see what my take was. Came up $16.75. And I asked him, it's like, what did it tell you? What are you paying? $31.75. They took $15. They took nearly 50% of that ride. And they wonder why there is class action lawsuits. They wonder why people get pissed. They wonder why drivers are complaining. They wonder why drivers are striking. And now what caused this strike is that in Los Angeles, they're not doing this all over the country, just in Los Angeles and parts of Orange County, Uber is now lowering the fare rates for the drivers. What you're paying is not different. But what the driver takes is different. It's going from 80 cents a mile to 60 cents a mile. So there was this strike. And let's read this story. I'm going to check in on the feedback right now. Yes, I am. Scotty's got a Strickland. Scotty's got a hernia. That sucks. Guess he won't be jerking off anytime soon. So, this story is up on the show page, and this comes from NBCnews.com. Uber and Lyft drivers in Los Angeles strike over pay and working conditions. I'm drowning in this gig economy, one striking driver told NBC News. And that is the absolute truth. And look, and that's why I went on a rant on the morning show about this. And I was frustrated. I was frustrated. And the truth of it is, and I was just saying, look, if you're going to come to Los Angeles, make sure that you have money. Make sure that you have a nest egg. Make sure that you have something. Because if you are coming out here and plan on being a starving artist, a starving actor, a starving comic, a starving musician, struggling all the way across the board, and I know because I am, but I'm 5 years in and I ain't giving up yet, god damn it. Don't. Because bartending and waitressing gigs, which is the classic out-of-work actor gig, are very, 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 very hard to come by. Not to mention that bars aren't that busy anymore. So a lot of them, like myself, fall back on Lyft and Uber. I started driving Lyft when I was working a job that was $10 an hour. Can barely pay bills doing that. So I'm like, all right. So I started doing this part-time, and I was making more part-time than I was at that full-time job. Putting in 25, 30 hours a week, I was making more than I was at a 40-plus hour a week job. And then when I lost that job, I'm like, all right, we're working on a script, which is now done. The script is ready. Now it's just a matter of finding out how to shop this goddamn thing. I'm like, all right, I'll do this. I'll do this on the side. And then I lost that job. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm doing this full time until something happens with that script. Well, you get used to instant money. You get used to making your own hours. And that is one of the pluses of doing it. You make your own hours. You work when you want to work. When I go out to do these amazing cruises like the Monsters of Rock cruise, which I had a fucking blast on, by the way, and the On the Blue cruise. I don't know how many times I can say that. I'm so lucky to be able to do those things. Thank you, Larry. And so you have that option of, hey, I have a gig tonight. I don't have to ask off. But back then, it was like you put in 50 hours, you get that 20% they take back. And so I was making $1,200, $1,250 a week, sometimes $1,300. Which, you know, when you get that one check, it's like, that's not that bad. You know, that's like $4,000 a month. Now, granted, I'm not saying I'm the best with money, which is goddamn true. But then they changed all that shit. They changed the bonus thing where your car had to be so and so new and yada yada yada. And I still have it. It's sitting there, and I got to find $823 so I can get it back on the road, because that's what I owe the DMV for 2 hours or two years of not paying the tags and late fees and 2 parking tickets. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah. So so they changed everything. They made it impossible to hit the bonuses. So I stopped putting in that many goddamn hours. It wasn't worth it. Well, then I got this stupid Prius, which is great for the job. It's the only good thing about a goddamn Prius. Plus, they're very roomy inside. It's amazing what you can fit in there. Jacobus, you should know that, because you know you like them big. But So yeah, there's that. And now it's like you hit like 114 rides in a week, which is basically you have to put in 60 hours a week. And I do not accept shared rides. Do not ever, as a passenger, request a shared ride. It is not fair to the drivers. If, say you're going 10 miles and you have 2 or 3 people picked up and dropped off along the way in that 10 miles, it's great for you because you split the fare with all those people. But what happens is the driver only gets the fare from point A to point B. Nothing on top of that. So we get totally screwed. So I don't accept those. It sucks, man. It's tough. But being in entertainment, it's the best option. And unfortunately, it sucks. All right. So some Lyft and Uber drivers in Los Angeles held a 25-hour strike on Monday to protest wage cuts and working conditions. The work stoppage was spurred by Uber's recent announcement of a 25% cut in drivers' pay per mile in Los Angeles and parts of Orange County. Of course, 4 million people in this town. It's going to be one of the busiest towns for it. And with the most expensive gas prices, let's cut the driver's pay. Fucking brilliant, right? Hundreds of drivers for both Lyft and Uber protested during the day outside Uber's offices in Redondo Beach, California, according to Rideshare Drivers Unlimited, an advocacy group. Hold on, I need a sip of coffee. Sinacone Kyodera, 44, a Lyft driver, was among them. I am currently homeless, Kyodera told NBC News. I don't make enough to get out of my situation, but I can't walk away from Lyft. I'm trapped in an endless cycle. See what I was just talking about. Uber said with the changes to its fare rates, drivers will earn the same as in the fall. These changes will make rates comparable to where they were in September, while giving drivers more control over how they earn and allowing them to build a model that fits their schedule best, Uber said. Yeah, so basically that means drive more to make more money. We want you in your car, and we want more drivers, because the more drivers we have on the road, the more money we make. But when it has the effect that it has on the drivers that are already there, sucks. Lyft told NBC News in a statement the vast majority of our drivers use the Lyft as temporary source of extra money. In fact, 91% drive fewer than 20 hours a week and noted it has not changed its rates in 12 months. Yeah, they haven't changed their rates, but they're raping us. Like I said, they took about 50% of that goddamn ride. Lyft told NBC News in a statement, okay, we just talked about that. And look, if you're just doing it on the side for some extra play money, that's fine. But they forget to realize that there's a lot of people, especially in this town, that rely on that money to live because they are in the entertainment industry. And with goddamn rent prices going through the roof, gas prices over $3 always, they just went back up. I think I paid $3.47 or something like that, or $3.37 yesterday. It's not cheap. Thank Lemmy I have that goddamn stupid Prius. Because if I was still driving that BMW for it, no. There's no way I would be able to make it. Uber driver Suzanne Gerbosh told NBC News Los Angeles that over the last 3.5 years, almost every 6 months, they continue to lower the incentives and the rates. It's true. Drivers to both rideshare companies say the fact that they have to pay to maintain their vehicles makes it difficult to earn enough to live on. That is also true. How do I know this? Because I am a fucking Lyft driver. Kyodera said he often works 7 days a week and 14-hour days, but still finds himself sleeping in the car he's renting from Lyft and skipping meals. As a member of Rideshare Drivers Unlimited, Kyodera helped organize the day's action. The group is calling for minimum pay that matches New York's new rule that rideshare drivers get paid $28 an hour salary before expensive. I love that. I love that. I wouldn't have to work 60 hours a goddamn week. Lyft and Juno are currently challenging that New York City provision. Of course they are. Of course they, because they want to make all the fucking money they possibly can. Well, that's business. That's capitalism. I get it. But when you're driving, literally, the people who are quote unquote, what do they call us? Not employees, contracted workers, or whatever. They're driving us into poverty. The strike comes after Uber was recently ordered to pay $20 million in a settlement to California and Massachusetts drivers, which one expert said was actually a win for the company, in part because it doesn't have to classify its workers as employees. Gig economy companies more broadly are facing scrutiny for classifying their workers as contractors. I'm drowning in this gig economy. I am too. Kiyodara said, we should be getting overtime and benefits and at least minimum wage pay. But by classifying us as contracted workers, they don't have to do that. It sucks. It sucks. It is tough. It is tough. Mark checking in. Chicago Lyft rides are just as bad. Gunter checking in from Minneapolis. Corporate bullshit. Make the rich get richer. But that's capitalism. That's capitalism. That's why you want to be a business owner. But there's a difference between being a business owner and taking care of your employees and being a business owner and driving them straight to the fucking breadline, which what will happen if I'm not, you know what? It's my show. It's my show. I don't have to answer to anybody other than myself. If those goddamn Dems get in there, and that's what they want that democratic socialism, that's where we'll be being, in the fucking breadline. John Panetta had a great line. Did you know in Russia, in Soviet Russia, they had to wait in line for 4 hours for bread? That better be good bread. You better be walking out of there going, did you have the bread? I fucking love that. So yeah, that is exactly what is happening. Jennifer checking in on the post. I guess it will be surging for those not striking. Curious on your thoughts about this. Talking about it on the show right now. Actually, I just got done talking about it. So there's that. There's my take on it. And that's not coming from somebody that I use it. I love it. And Gunter, yes, but exactly, don't fuck the employees or bing, bang, boom, no biz, because people know. But Gunter, see, this is the problem. We are not employees. We are contractors. They can treat us however they goddamn want, and we have no choice in the matter. That's exactly where the problem lies. Do I think $28 an hour is outrageous? Yes. For what we do, yeah, but I would take it. I wouldn't complain. I would never bitch about having to drive Lyft ever again. Because I wouldn't have to put in 60 hours a goddamn week to eat. All right, so here's a scoop. Going to take a short little break. And we'll be right back, and we'll get your thoughts on this, and then we'll talk about the dirt backlash. It is another fucking podcast.
Hey ladies, Sass Pants Designs will take that rock shirt that everyone has and make it your own in a flattering, sassy, and simple way. There are one-of-a-kind tank tops, lace-up tees, and tube top dresses already in stock. Check out the online store at sasspantsdesigns.com and like Sass Pants Designs on Facebook for special offers and custom orders. That's sasspantsdesigns.com. Sasspantsdesigns.com. Sass Pants will make you the envy of the party.
If you need to promote your band or business, or just want to stylize, personalize, or customize your ride, check out vid-decals.com. Want to create and customize your own stickers representing your band, or make your own bumper sticker? Vid Decals can do it. All stickers are printed on quality vinyl and can be placed on any flat surface. Stickers are an affordable way to promote your band or business. Go to vid-decals.com to get started. That's vid-decals.com. vid-decals.com.
Retro Arcade brings Minnesota and surrounding areas arcade games from the days gone by. All of those great games from pizza joints and arcades are available in cocktail units and custom machines. Dozens of favorites from your youth in one machine to complete your game room or man cave. Retro Arcade also sells and services your favorite pinball machines. Find them at facebook.com/80arcade. That's facebook.com/80arcade. Retro Arcade. Your youth is just one click away.
RockstarLeatherworks.com is your home for badass rock and roll gear. Featuring 100% handmade leather bands, watches, cuffs, bracelets, and more, Rockstar Leatherworks has something for everybody. Whether you are going to the show or you are in it, you can find something to fit your needs. Choose from a variety of designs or create your own masterpiece. Their bands and watches are second to none. They also ship internationally. Who needs a stage to be a rock star? Check out RockstarLeatherworks.com.
Hey, what's going on? This is Tom Arnold. I like fat women and cocaine. And you're listening to Izzy Presley here on another fucking podcast. And I know Izzy from Cocaine Anonymous meetings. I've actually seen him at the meetings with Ace Von Johnson from, I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but Ace has got a bad coke problem. And his sponsor is Josh Todd from, and again, I shouldn't say this out loud, but Josh is his sponsor for Buck Cherry. He's addicted to upskirt porn. And they're both being sponsored by the Eagles. The whole band, the Eagles. Anyways, another fucking podcast right here with Izzy Presley, and call your sponsor. Fucking A.
I was trying to change that out really quick, but I didn't have time. Kept getting a text. It was getting in my way. I was going to put in one of the other Craig Gass liners. Craig Gass appearing on Thursday night at our little Backlines and Punchlines show. They'll be at the Grafton at Bar 20 on Sunset Boulevard. Co-hosting it with Courtney Cronin Droid. Is that? I don't know how in the hell that pronounce that. It'd probably help if I look at the name. That would help. Courtney, I'm sorry. I apologize. So yeah, it's Thursday night, 8 p.m. No cover at Bar 20 at the Grafton on Sunset. Love that. You know, brothers and sisters, the Grafton is amazing. It's filled with rock and roll, trim, and cocaine. Ugh, that's my horrible chip. That was a bad Chips Enough. I can usually do chip very well. That's what Tim is texting me about, telling me how amazing my Chips Enough is. So yeah, there's that. Let's see. Gunter checking in about that last topic about the Lyft Uber strike. I know, but you are the face of the company. Yeah, a disgruntled face. Every time somebody gets in the car, how you doing? I'm sufficient. That way I'm not lying. I mean, I could say how pissed off I am that I have to fucking drive Lyft. But it's that or not pay bills. What can you do? Bruce, how you doing? Another hoser. Checking in. It's good to see you. And make sure you guys hit up Beater Amplification. That's 2 E's. Beeter. Amazing amplifiers. Amazing amplifiers. These things are so great. 100 watts, you pull 2 tubes, you got yourself a 50. 3 channels with testicular fortitude. Old school Metallica tone, old school AC/DC tone, and that old school clean-ass Fender tone. And I believe I am doing a demo video this week. I got to text the dude. Finally going to be doing a... Oh, Nate Dawson, how you doing, buddy? It's good to see you. Thanks for checking in. So, yeah, there is that. And now let us talk about going to be putting this, where is it? There we go. This article from Spin Magazine up on the show page. Going to be talking about that now. And people losing their shit over Motley Crue's The Dirt, the movie. And this article was obviously written by somebody who did not understand what the 80s actually was. And we're gonna dive into her diatribe about it. But I have a problem, and I had no problem with the movie. It was what it was. It was a biopic. It wasn't a documentary. And to fit that story, and they left out a whole lot to fit that whole story into just under 2 hour movie and make it flow, You're going to have to take liberties. You're going to have to mesh some shit up. The way Tommy and Heather met, that didn't happen there. It happened backstage at an REO Speedwagon concert. Doc McGee was never actually at that party. He was never at that house. He might have been at the house, but I don't think he was at that party. That's not how they met. And I think they even said that in the movie. People freaking out because, well, Vince wasn't driving that car. He was driving it. Who cares? Then he got Brandvold, and I love the guys on Three Sides, and I like to give Brandvold shit. I don't know if he's just stirring the pot. I wish this would have happened before I did Three Sides and recorded it last week. But, of course, the movie came out on Friday. I did not get to go to the premiere, which was on Monday. And they wouldn't have seen it yet anyways. But like Brandvold's, but Doc McGee didn't kiss until later, and he told them, who cares? It doesn't matter. Hell, I'm surprised he didn't notice that scene as Nicky as a kid. When he has that fight with his mom and he cuts himself. Did you notice that was from 1973? When his records fell over, what was on top? Does anybody know? The Kiss self-titled record, which didn't come out until February of 74. And Brandvold has just been going on a tirade. It's like, dude, it's a buyout. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But that did happen. Like, who cares? Where were you? Were you bitching about the Queen movie? The Queen movie was just as bad, if not worse, when it comes to being biographically correct. And here's the same thing. This is the exact same thing with the Queen movie and with the Motley Crue movie. Both bands were hands-on in the making of that movie, and they approved it all. That's how movies work, based on a true story. You have to bend the truth to make the story flow. It's a story. Did they leave out a lot of shit? Yes. I wish if anybody hasn't read the book, and I'm sorry I'm ruining this for you, but there's a scene that happens during or like right after the car crash. And it's not even a scene. It's just something that happened in the book. It was one of Mick Mars' stories. He was hammered on vodka, as usual. Thought nobody cared about him, so he just walked into the ocean. Figured he'd die. And I'm sorry, the book has been out since, 2005? Sorry if there's any spoilers in here. And he passed out in the water, and he floated up on the beach. Thought he was dead, thought he was a ghost. And he walks up to the house, and everybody had found out about the accident by now. They're all sitting in the house in the living room, and they're all so sad. And he's like, my God, they're actually sad about me dying. And he thought he was a ghost, he was just going to walk right through the pane glass window sliding door. And he wasn't a ghost. Broke his nose, knocked himself out. That would have been great to be in the movie. But it's just, look, you can't fit that whole goddamn story in the movie. And to make the movie work, you got to bend the fucking truth a little bit. Who cares? You take it for what it is. It was campy. It was, the music was fucking Crue. I mean, come on. It's Motley Crue. No, they didn't get back together that way. It took a lot of negotiating to get them back together in 2005? Was that reunion tour? Maybe it was a book in 1999? I don't know. I don't have my dates. There's this thing called Google that I'm too lazy to do. But the movie summed up what it was like. Yes, it was the bad wigs and the bad... Dude, that dude playing Tommy Lee had his mannerisms down to a fucking T. The dude playing Nicky, you thought he was Nicky. Did he look exactly like him? No. Nobody's gonna fucking look just like him. I don't know who Mike Gross is, Bruce. You have to you have to inform me about that. Nobody's going to, were the works great? No. I don't care. You just take it for what it is. And enjoy it. And it summed up what that band was. It was drugs, it was chicks, and it was fucking rock and roll. It was sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That's what that band was, to the extreme. And anybody that, well, that stuff, that's just a great... Look. Of course he's ranting to drive up traffic. I know how he is. I know he's stirring the pot, but he got me this time. But people don't realize that they weren't the worst band. They weren't the only band doing that. Every goddamn band in the 80s was living that lifestyle. Maybe not to the drug extreme, like the heroin, but the cocaine and the women and the partying and the alcohol, that was commonplace. That was the Sunset Strip. Look, that was bands ever since there ever have been bands. Why? Because women, they want to fuck guys in bands. They want to get drunk, they want to party with the band, and they want to do them. That's the way it used to be, at least. And I miss those days. That's why we wanted to be in a band. Gene Simmons said it best. Anybody that says they got into the music business for the music is lying. It's bullshit. It's women. They want the money and they want the women. Because that is the perks of the job. So many, and I know you guys listening right now know this. Some people that might not be in the chat room probably don't know this. But all of those bands in the 80s on the strip before they got signed, they had strippers supporting them. They had sugar mamas. I need a sugar mama. God damn, do I need a sugar mama. I want a sugar mama. I should have a sugar mama. Granted, she's not going to be a stripper from fucking the Body Shop. She might be 70 and look like she's 65. I don't know. Pardon me, I have to take a sip of coffee. But that's how it was. So let's dive into this story. Written by Maggie Sirota. And I looked up Maggie and I saw her picture and she looks like somebody who probably didn't understand what the 80s was. Title of the article in Spin Magazine, "The Dirt is a reminder that we should leave Motley Crue in the 80s. And of course she used to write for Rolling Stone magazine and blah, blah, blah. So she obviously doesn't get it. The Dirt, Confessions of the World's Most Notorious Rock Band. The 2001 memoir that Motley Crue wrote with journalist Neil Strauss reads more like a deposition than an autobiography. But that's what basically its selling point is. In it, Tommy Lee, Vince Neil, Mick Mars, and Nikki Sixx candidly recount instances of extreme drug use, violence, domestic and otherwise, and horrific and legitimately criminal treatment of women. As just the mundane trappings of fame for an 80s Sunset Strip hair metal band. Oh my God. See, this is what I was just talking about. You don't get it. You don't know what it was like back then. That's what it was like. And this is the thing, Maggie. Those women would not have been there if they didn't want to be there. Oh, my God. It's difficult to read that book, without walking away thinking that Tommy, Vince, Mick, and Nikki are inherently bad people. No, they were young, they were fucked up, and they were having fun. And giving their dispassionate retelling of stories, like the time the band casually inserted a hotel telephone inside a groupie to amuse themselves. Did you ever hear the... You think that's the only time that's happened with any band? The famous Led Zeppelin Fish story. You ever heard that one? Oh, that's right. You wrote for fucking Rolling Stone magazine. So you ignore that shit because Led Zeppelin's the greatest band that ever fucking lived. And you probably think that exact same way of writing for fucking Spin. You don't get it. Groupies were there because they wanted to be there. And groupies didn't let anything happen to them that they did not want to happen to them. The members of Motley Crue are likely the first people to admit that they are complete shitbags. Hell, they revealed it. In the new Netflix production of the 2001, okay, it was 2001, that was around that time, directed by Jeff Tremaine of Jackass fame, is a gauzy, by-the-numbers biopic in which the 80s hair farmers are presented in an overly sympathetic light with the darkest parts of their memoir scrubbed from the narrative. Darkest parts scrubbed from the narrative? Tommy Lee fucking punching the gal? Think that's not a fucking dark time? Vince Neil going to jail for killing somebody, that was in there. Oh yeah, that's not a dark. Nikki Sixx dying, that's not his heroin addiction. That's not a dark time, you fucking idiot. Some of the most glaring omissions Tremaine's retelling of the Crue saga, from his inability to situate realistic representation of the band's debauchery and lifestyle during their meteoric rise. Shut. You have no idea what you're talking. You are just a fucking millennial left-wing. Oh, I can just tell. The bulk of their behavior towards women was profoundly fucked up. Maggie, I'm going to ask you a question. If you're a rock star, which you will never be, I will never be. If you are a rock star, have everything given to you, alcohol, drugs, and women that want to fuck you just by looking at them, are you going to say no? No, you're not. You do not understand what it was like to be in a band in the Sunset Strip in the 80s. I don't know. I wasn't there. But I heard stories. And I heard stories straight from the mouths of the people that lived it. These women were not there because they didn't want to be there. One of the most damning aspects of Tommy Lee's past is the 6 months he spent in prison for assaulting his ex-wife Pamela Anderson, but the movie doesn't as much mention her. Yeah, because there wasn't time. This wasn't a Tommy Lee movie. This is a Motley Crue movie. Yes, that was a very dark time for them, and it's talked about in the book. You think they ignored that? Look, they could only fit so much into 1 hour and 49 minutes. He is seen punching an earlier fiance in the face, and look, she felt terrible about it. I mean, he felt terrible about it. If you watch the movie. In the book, Nikki describes women as pests who are sometimes useful as alternatives to masturbation. And that is generally how the women in the movie are depicted. No, they're not. Shut up. The most glaring example is a groupie character who exists solely to hide under the table to give surprise blowjobs to whoever happens to sit down. Sight unseen. Okay, and anybody that didn't laugh at that scene has a stick up their ass. Still, the depiction that omits the worst instances of the band's behavior towards women and overly glamorizes the instances that it cherry picks feels useless in the post-Me Too. Oh, see, this is your problem. This is your problem. You're bringing Me Too into this. Like I said, those women would not have been there if they didn't want to be there. Elektra A&R rep Tom Zutaut, played by Pete Davidson, breaks the fourth wall after Nikki Sixx has sex with Zutaut's girlfriend. Never leave your girlfriend alone with Motley Crue. And he turns to the camera and says, because they will fuck her. Yeah, it's true. It's true. But, like I said, they weren't forcing them to do it. This shit infuriates me. Just infuriates me. Yeah, Scotty, I didn't look at her. I saw the headline of that tweet. I didn't. I can't handle her. Amber checking in. This generation, unfortunately, mine sucks. So, Amber, you understand what I'm talking about. You get this. Amber's a female. You get this. You understand. I want to hear your thoughts. Pam also didn't sign off on it. See, there you go. Good press, bad press, didn't matter. Still drives more hits to the movie, and I goddamn love it. Her opinion will not be remembered. I get it. Get Pat Fontaine back on the show to talk all about this. Oh, dude. XYZ. Oh, XYZ. They were, yes. XYZ was one of those bands, man. XYZ was definitely one of those bands. I think we got another comment on the show page. Let me jump into that. The great Babu checking in on the show page. Damn, guess they didn't like it. Did you expect her to? Did you expect her to? You look at her and you go, oh, she's going to hate this movie. And Kenny checking in on actually one of his posts, he tagged me and said, I would have made a great Tom Zutaut. I agree. I would have been an amazing Tom Zutaut. Absolutely. Thank you, Kenny. I appreciate that. You're probably not watching because you were watching your Predators beat my Wild. So there's that. There is that. There's the first show. I would love to keep going, but unfortunately, this show does not pay my bills, and I have to go drive Lyft. Back to the first fucking topic. Thank you guys for checking in. Thank you guys for your comments. Hopefully this show grows. No show tomorrow. Like I said, I got to work. I got rent to pay. Izzy, why don't you work during the day? Fucking Los Angeles traffic during the day. Are you fucking kidding me? How about no? Plus, I have to be up by 1 o'clock for Days of Our Lives. I have priorities. I was watching Days of Our Lives today, and I posted about this, and I don't think anybody noticed it or even cared, but I don't care. I don't think I've ever seen a TV on Days of Our Lives in any of the houses or even the bars. There are no TVs in Salem. In the hotel rooms and nothing. Nowhere are there TVs. I don't know why that annoyed me. It didn't annoy me. It made me chuckle. It really, really did. Oh, guys, before we go, just please make sure you hit up AMP Productions Laser Engraving Division, aplasers.com. And, of course, John Palumbo Design. We love us some John Palumbo. You need a band logo. You need a website done. Hit up johnpalumbodesign.com. John Palumbo will take care of you. All right. Let me hit the outro. I don't want to go work. If you guys want to support the show, please share with your friends. Tell everybody, ooh, this chick is hot. On a FanDuel commercial. I'd bone her. Thank you, Scotty. Make sure to hit up all the social media at Real Izzy Presley, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Like, follow, yada, yada, yada. And, of course, the show page is another effing podcast. If you're listening on Spreaker Live right now, make sure you hit that follow button. Hit that so you can find out when I go live. This show will be every Monday night. Another effing podcast will be Tuesday nights. This is the Izzy Presley Show, episode number 1. If you're listening on iTunes, I don't know if I create a new show if you have to subscribe to that one too. That's one of the reasons I did it like this. I want to get this out there to as many people as possible. So hit that subscribe button. Leave me 5 stars. All that kind of good stuff. And, of course, the PayPal is izzypresley@yahoo.com. I lose money doing this show, but I do it because I love it. So if you guys want to support the show, buy T-shirts, send me money, buy the Cruiser Jam T-shirts. That link is on the show page as well. We will see you next Monday night. Don't forget, what I lack in talent, I do make up for in cock.